Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominic Doherty and Drew Fazy.
And we are your local guys.
Did you like that, Drew? I found that funky music again here.
I was digging that, Dom. I'm digging the
you
new
know,
music.
we're getting used to this new platform, one episode at a time. One episode at a time. So, joining us today, taking time out of his very, very busy schedule, is Phil Bellucci. Did I say that correctly?
Perfect. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, from one
Yep,
Italian
Phil,
to
good
another. But
morning.
my
Good
last
morning,
name's
Drew.
Doherty,
Good
though.
morning, Dom. Thank you guys for having me today. Appreciate it.
No, our pleasure.
So,
Our pleasure.
Phil
You guys,
is the executive director of the Ocean City Humane Society, which was founded in 1964 as a pet adoption center and has expanded over the years to include veterinary hospital, spay and neuter services, and they also offer animal control services. So, Phil, how long have you been with the Humane Society?
I have been with the Humane Society about 10 and a half years now. Um, I actually started out just part-time, just doing like some of our fundraising stuff, things like that. And the more I guess, stayed here, the more I kind of grew on these people, and they decided to, at some point, make me their executive director. And I've been doing that this is my first complete year right now. So a little
Yeah.
bit new to me, a
congratulations.
little bit different, but the song remains the same, and it's really all about our mission that we have here at the Humane Society. So um, kind of fell into place pretty easily, the transition. Bill Hollingsworth, who's been our executive director uh, for almost, he's going on 20 years. He's decided it's time to pack it in. He's done a great job through the years. He's provided a great leadership for the staff, for the volunteers, and I think it's just time, right? I think the average lifespan of an ED is a certain period of time, and I think his expiration date has come and gone. Uh, a little bit of a shame, he did a great job. He was actually instrumental in getting us the spay and neuter clinic and all that stuff through the years. But we're gonna, he's gonna pass the baton on, and we're gonna keep running the race here. Um, so yeah, you're right. We've been here since about 1964, and celebrated 60 years last year. And the really cool thing about you
Wow.
guys inviting us to do this is, like, that's what our whole basis, our roots are grounded in the community. The Humane Society was founded years ago, and that's why, like, the youth and the young kids getting involved in what we do. Um, was some high school kids that actually were going around, and they kept the animals in a garage at a time. They were kind of like the starting time of the Humane Society, and it just blossomed from there. And we are so lucky that we have just support of the community. I think it's really important for us. You said that already, Drew. I mean, that's what we do. A lot of people don't realize, if somebody's never been here to the shelter, we're the only barn, I think, in Ocean City. We're a little barn here on the bay. Um, we do adoption. We are keep the shelter, so we have animals here that are homeless, that are surrendered by Ocean City residents. And then we have a full service vet center, which is our barn that is community active as far as doing low cost spay and neuters. If somebody adopts an animal from us, we give them a 10% discount for the life of their animal for medical services, because we have to look at, like, on our end, what are the reasons why people surrender a pet, unfortunately. And a lot of times people are very judgmental with that decision, but until you've seen somebody out there sobbing, crying as they walked out of the shelter, it's not a decision that anybody, I don't think, is ever going to make lightly. And it's not an easy decision to make, in any aspect of that. But what
I'm
we do
sure.
is we take them in.
Yeah.
We are a no-kill shelter, and that means that we're never going to euthanize any animal, because we need to make more space for it. We do work a lot of networks with other shelters, and between all of us, we're all doing the same thing, just trying to do good work in finding animals homes, dogs, cats, you name it. We've done hermit crabs, fish, lizards. Not a big fan of this one, but snakes we've had as well. So, you know, and then the last piece of our puzzle is we do animal control for the city of Ocean City as well. We're very proud of that, because we are part of the first responders. Oftentimes, animal control is like one of the most important yet underappreciated of the first responders. A lot of
Oh yeah.
times,
So this has been happening lately with Riverside. Our guests have been dropping. It's a problem that I know that other podcasts have had. Um, but pretty wild, dude. Animal control, all this stuff. Let me send Phil an email, tell him to try and jump out and jump back in. Um, Actually recording in higher quality. But no, that's pretty wild. Like, you know, to think about that animal control uh, aspect of things. I
Yeah,
wonder what
agreed. I
I'm
mean,
interested when he comes back to see what he's actually like, what they've actually taken in here in Ocean City. Like, what's the weirdest animal they've ever gotten? It's got to be a good one.
so I know that if you have an animal on your property, like if you get a squirrels in your attic or a raccoon in your attic or something like that, you know you have to deal with that on your own. But
What?
if there's a stray, wounded animal on the street or somewhere in public, you can call Humane Society and they'll come out and even a dead animal. My neighbor had I think it was a dead raccoon or a possum, I can't remember which, and called the Humane Society and they came out, you know, within the hour or so and took the animal away and disposed
That's
of it.
good to know. That's good to know because when they
Yeah.
tore down the Redmond building, there were a couple animals that I saw that didn't quite make it from the demolition that definitely needed to be cleaned up. Uh, so,
hello guys.
Hey,
hey,
back
Phil, how
again.
are you?
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
No, no,
Actually, I'll
we were
tell you this
saying
the funny story. That
it's been happening to some of our guests lately, so we apologize. It's a
Well,
technical
it's not. That's on
glitch
me. I
with a
can
new
tell you
platform.
this. I sometimes we have like some of our Shire dogs that are don't do well in the shelter. So I think I had Nola in the office the other day, and I think she knocked out my cord here, and I didn't realize it. So we're back. Not your
So
fault this
we
time.
w-
That's mine.
we were wondering, and the question that we posed while we were waiting for you to jump back in is, in the animal control aspect of the Humane Society,
Yes.
you know, you said you've done some snake adoptions. What is the most exotic, I think is the term, pet or animal that you have had to
Wow. That's
corral
a good
here in Ocean
question.
City?
That's a good question. I mean, I laugh because I think I could probably write a book. Like they have actually the TV show Animal Control, and it's nothing. I think if they had us do it, it would be a lot more entertaining for sure. Um, I don't know. We've had everything. I think we had eagles, osprey, snakes, hermit crabs, dogs, cats.
Any
Wow, I
any
think we've had
gators? Did
just
you
about
get
everything.
any
I
alligators
think
or anything?
we had a deer that was hit by a car at the south end a few years ago. So you just
Oh, that's a
like a
shame.
box of chocolates, right? We never know. Like when I'm driving in the morning, what we're going to get. But I have to give our officers credit because once again, I think that's where we left off. Was just one of the most underappreciated of the first responders, right? They go out there and fearlessly. I could tell you a funny story real quick. Is one of my first after I was certified for animal control as an officer. Um, One of the first calls I got in Ocean City, and it's like the middle of summer, and it's like 100 degrees out, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, because when you're on call, you have to be 24 hour, and a lot of times we get dispatched by the Ocean City Police Department, and I don't have time to go into like my long fear of bats, but the job definitely helps you confront your fears because I'm laying there at 2 o'clock in the morning. The phone goes off, and the scroll right from the message is coming across, and I'm groggy and just kind of waking up, and boom, bat in residence, whatever Wesley Asbury Road, and And so you drive there just once again, like what are you going to do? And you kind of put it all together and just confront your fears. Because when you get to the house, the people there are petrified, no pun intended there, but petrified because of, they've never experienced this. And so then I have to, put on a good face, like, okay, well, I'm going to handle this for you, which I do. But usually it's have everybody kind of go away. And it took me a while, and because when I got there, the bat was actually still flying around, and you don't go catching it like a butterfly. You go and you wait until they settle down, and they're pretty docile animals to start with. But once again, I years and years ago, my wife and I's first apartment, it was we came home one night and there was a bat flying like around there, and I think I smashed my knee into the wall so hard. I think there was a splotch of blood going across. So once again, it's I mean, those kind of things, like the wildlife is kind of your biggest stuff: raccoons, possums. Like in Ocean City, you guys know that what happens is Ocean City gets very quiet, somewhat quiet in the off season. So a lot of times our friends, our squirrels, our raccoons are kind of in under somebody's shed or in a peaceful place. And then once people start coming down and start opening up their houses for the summer and things like that, that's when it really gets busy. It's not uncommon in the summertime for us to probably field like 5 to 10 animal control calls alone on a summer day. A lot of times it's injured birds, injured seagulls, hit by car,
Wow, no kidding.
unfortunately. And we try to like through our social media and things like that, we try to stress a lot of that stuff. Like, a lot of times that the injured wildlife could be prevented if people would just slow down a little bit, right? I mean, it's to hit. I think the one time I went out and there was like 4 seagulls that were all hit by a car, and for you to hit 4 seagulls, it's not like something could have been done with that. So we try to stress that. We try to keep a cohesive between the people that are visiting Ocean City for the summer, and we work in conjunction with the police and enforcing a lot of the things that on a nice basis. Keep your dogs on leash, pick up after your dogs, things like that, because it makes it bad for everybody else when people don't abide by that stuff. So we try to kind of keep it on a fun level. A lot of times we'll have like one of our dogs like on a GoPro or something, walking around and scoping like trash out and things like that. So we try to make it fun. It is, obviously there is a lot of serious stuff that we do here. And even like with our fundraising, we try to keep it a little bit light. Our events are designed to be fun, so people have a good time. They bring their family out, and it's still helping us raise money for the animals here in the shelter.
And
So
we do
speaking
have,
of the
I want to
shelter,
talk about some of that, some of your fundraising. But before we do that,
Yes.
I want a couple questions about the shelter
hmm
itself. Typically, how many animals do you have at the shelter on any
Well, we're
given
not a big
week?
shelter. Anybody who's been through us, I mean, I give like we've Act, Philly, Cape May County, Atlantic County. Once again, I really commend all the shelters that do it and we're a smaller shelter. Some of the shelters have 80 kennels, something like that. So that's got to be at sometimes pretty overwhelming, especially when you're at capacity. Um, like we're designed to probably house 14 dogs here at the shelter. Anytime we're probably looking at about 50 cats that we'll have in our cat room. That number's come down significantly from what we used to house in the cat room for a couple reasons. One, um, our new management system is about teaching and things like that. And some of the cats that some people thought, oh my gosh, they're not capable of living in a home. A lot of times we said, why not? Why not give them the opportunity? They can live in a room with 75 other cats. Surely they should have the opportunity to go somewhere in somebody's house and have that opportunity. And then dog wise, um, we have to keep kennel space open because once again we do animal control. So any given day we could have a dog bite, or we could have a loose dog, or a couple loose dogs that we have to house here at the shelter. So we try to keep it. And it's usually like a mix. Like some of our dogs that we have right now, you consider a little bit long term. They've been here. Some of them actually for several years, for various reasons. So When we do have kennel space, when we're not full, we try to go around to some of the other local shelters, and see if there's some dogs that might be that we might be able to pull from there and bring them into our shelter. A lot of times, if somebody comes in looking for a little certain type of dog or something, and we only have a bunch of big dogs, we recommend maybe they give us their information. And then when we are pulling dogs or when we do get other dogs in, we can go right back to that list. A lot of times we kind of use it as like a baseball metaphor as far as on deck and in the hole, right? We're always trying to look, if this dog goes, do we have another dog that we can get that would fill that space? And like I said, the other dogs that have been here a long time, uh, a lot of times people like they'll go through the shelter, and I don't know if you're familiar with our dogs, but there's a dog Gunner who's been here a long time, or a dog Duke that's been here for quite a long time. And the first reaction that somebody gets is, oh, I feel so bad for Gunner. I feel so bad for Duke. Now, know this: we have an amazing group of volunteers and we have an amazing dedicated staff here. And those dogs get a lot of attention, a lot of love. We actually make it a point to make sure that they do get that, because they're our animals while they're here. Like, we're their family. They depend on us. And a lot of times, to be quite honest, guys, it's good for my soul. It's good for, I think, the volunteer soul, just to go back there in our play yard and just spend 20 minutes just with one of these dogs out back and realize that what it means to them, but of what it means to you a lot of times too, right? Just some good quality, quiet time back there. You turn the world off and all you do is dedicate your time to that animal for the time. And I think it means the world to them. I've found through the years, it means the world to me too. Like I said, I go home every day and think about the times that I've had with them. And and I think our volunteers, I know Deb, Drew, you obviously know Deb, and she's been with us a long time. And you get that. In fact, we had one person that actually wound up volunteering just because he was out there one time just talking to one of our volunteers and just seeing. It's not something that can be really taught. I think it's really in these people's hearts. And I think it's interesting. We often judge, like laugh a little bit, like, is it just happenstance that all these people kind of wound up in the same place, or is the place like that and kind of creates that atmosphere for people?
Right.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, but just really.
Well, that's an aspect that I'm glad you brought up, was the volunteers, because obviously you do have staff,
Yes.
but you also rely on volunteers to walk the
Yep.
dogs and play with the dogs and help out with
Absolutely.
the daily task at the shelter,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to get back to Deb. Deb, I got to give her a shout out. My
Absolutely.
sister-in-law, Deb Fazy.
Absolutely. We love that phasing.
I know she's been with you for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, and there's a person with a very, very big heart.
Very big heart. Very big heart. Yeah, they're our lifeline. You know what? They do things like, the staff is obviously the cleaning aspect, that kind of stuff, that the volunteers bring the love. I mean, really, once again, they don't get paid. Um, and they come in. I see them walking out there in the rain and through the snow, things like that. We have people that come in as the cat volunteers, and we try to make it fun, right? We try to do some enriching things with the dogs. We try to do, like, now that the beach is going to be open in October, maybe do a little pack walk where all our dogs can go down to the beach together. Our cat room, we try to create things. Somebody donated. It's the coolest thing ever. It's like a hamster wheel, right? But it's big, and it's for cats. Now, anybody who's ever really tried to train cats obviously knows that cats really don't train very, very easily, right? So I'm working on it, and our staff is working on it. And the first staff we're going to buy lunch for that can actually give me a video of, and I'll share it with you if I ever get it, of the cats, like, on the hamster wheel doing it. I think they sniff it, they walk a little bit and walk. You know how cats are, but
I'd like to see that.
some kind of things like that we do. Like a cat, we bring our TV into there and roll the big screen in, and we put, like, movies with birds and fish on there for the cats to watch. Once again, it's all about stimulating their minds while they're here, as well as getting the exercise. So it's fun, and we encourage everybody. And once again, going back to the volunteers, heck yeah, they're doing laundry for us, right? They're separating newspapers for us. just it's when the wheel works as it does, the machine works, everything. It's an amazing thing, right? Because then the staff has the opportunity to get out there and put the programs in place. I'm lucky enough to, in addition to be the executive director, I'm actually our volunteer coordinator as well. So I'm messaging them, getting their responses to things, and each and every week I definitely make it a point with our updates just to tell them how much they're appreciated. Because, like I said, there's I'm sure they have other things that they can do in their time. And that's why I hope that when we talk about that, it doesn't really sound cheesy, but it is meaningful. And I think in there, even with the staff, we often say you're not going to get rich monetarily working for us here, but you're going to enrich your life in so many other ways. Like every day, go home, especially with our animal control officers, every day go home and just really, really appreciate what you do for the organization. It just can't be understated what they do. So, anyways.
Yeah.
So Phil, all of those cats and
Mm-hmm.
dogs, they are all available for adoption. So if someone is looking to add a furry friend to their life, they can come in
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely. We like to think that there's always, an opportunity. We had a dog named Olive that was in our shelter for, I want to say she was here when I started and for a couple years. So I would say like maybe 5 or 6 years, Olive was in the shelter, um, happily in the shelter. Like I want to preface everything by saying that these dogs aren't, if it's a quality of life issue, then there's more to the story. But we're going to do everything to make sure their life is just as good as a dog that is in an actual home while they're here. But Olive was here for, I want to say 5 or 6 years. Went out a couple times, as in we've had that before, where a dog goes into a home, for whatever reason it doesn't work out. But Olive had a tremendous prey drive, right? So that means if she heard like a mouse under your house or something, she's on it. Her anxiety is going to be up, and she's scratching at your hardwoods. And so a lot of people, that was just too much. So she stayed at the shelter, and we had a volunteer. In fact, all the volunteers loved Olive, and we had a volunteer that one day her cat, and she knew that it just wasn't the right time because she had a cat, and once again Olive has prey drive and it's just not going to work out. Her cat passed away, and in the next week she came in and she said, I want to adopt Olive. So 6 years later, Olive goes home, and it's you just it I don't want to once again sound like sappy about it, but it really does. It really pulls on your heart. A lot of times people think, you work here, so there is a sense of desensitization that you kind of get, right? Because you used to seeing a lot of hard things,
sure.
but it doesn't mean I can't. I personally, when you have something like that happens, boom, right at the bat, you know that everything. This is why we do it. This is what makes it all worthwhile. Everybody, like the puppies are easy, right? We get a litter of puppies, and everybody wants a puppy. But bless that person who goes out there and gets the senior dog or the difficult dog, right? And once again, Deb's done that for us. So it's really great, but like I said, every day is just different. Every adoption is different, and every animal's different. So we're going to give the animal the opportunity to succeed in a home. We had a dog recently, a little German Shepherd. That was adorable, right? Had one ear up, one ear down. Everybody loved him, but he needed a lot of training, and he needed to go into a home that was going to give him the structure that he needed. Like we had a certain regiment for his training that was here. So he went out twice, and twice he came back because it just wasn't the right fit for him. And happy to say, he actually went to Philadelphia. We drove to Philadelphia, my shelter manager Deanna and I, not because we were being judgmental of their home. We just wanted to make sure, as much as we can. Nothing's 100%. And so we drove there, and these people were solid. They actually had their house like set up. Like, we're not going to give him too much space right away, right? We're going to keep him contained a little bit and then let him branch out. As a lot of times it's the 3-3-3, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. And it's true. It's like these animals need to get used to a home again. And some of them have never even been in a home. Like this dog was never in a home. He was in a shelter in California. He came to us because the Philadelphia Eagles sponsored a bunch of dogs from the California fires to come here. And so we don't know what his story was, but he was a really sweet dog. But once again, just needed somebody to take the time to do it. And that's really what it's all about is, and I think sadly that's why some of these shelters are full is it's something, it's a commitment, right? It's like doing your marriage vows through sickness, through health, right? It's not easy sometimes. And I can tell you this, when they're puppies and it's fun, my dog is 14. She just celebrated 14 years and 9 months right now. She's a big German Shepherd, and she's our life. But now it's like taking care of an elk. Like we have the sling and we have to take her down the steps to go outside and in the yard and stuff now. But it's just a different kind of love that you have for them. And it really, sadly, some people think at that time it's time to get rid of them, to put them in a shelter, to euthanize them. And like I said, to me, it's my marriage vows, right? Through sickness and health,
Sure.
death do us part. I'm gonna care for her until it's a quality of life issue, till she doesn't have a good quality of life anymore. And once again, that's the same premise that we have for these animals that we have at the shelter. That's
So, so speaking of which, so all this uh, takes a lot of love, but it also takes a lot of money to care for these animals.
absolutely.
So I know you do a lot of fundraising. You want to talk about a couple of things that you have coming up
Sure, I'd love to talk about a couple
people
things.
can get involved in?
Yeah, once again, community wise, I just keep having to harken back to Ocean City is amazing to us. The city's amazing. The police are amazing. You guys as our supporters are amazing. So, being in Ocean City allows us to do some pretty cool things that a lot of other places aren't able to do. We have a Halloween parade, HOWL, Halloween parade coming up on October 25th. That is technically the only day that dogs are legally allowed up on the boardwalk other than the Doodah parade. And that's something that came from the merchants went to the city and they said, we would like to do something to support the Humane Society in Ocean City, our local shelter. And like for Bill and I, it was a no brainer. They were like, we want to do something in October. And we're like, let's do a parade and let's have everybody dress up their dogs. And it's kind of cool because a lot of times people like dressing up their dogs. This is an opportunity where the person gets to dress up with the dog. So it's kind of like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
double the fun.
I was just talking to my neighbor this morning that they do it every year.
Oh,
And
it's amazing. It
they
really
have
is.
two Rottweilers and they love it.
It's really fun to see. So we have that coming up on some of our bigger events, and then on Thanksgiving morning we have the 5K, our annual 18th annual turkey trot. So it's a 5K run down the boardwalk. Now I came here about 10 years ago, and when they told me about that, I couldn't really believe. I'm like, you mean to tell me that 1,000 people are going to get up Thanksgiving morning and be at the boardwalk at like 8 o'clock to run a 5K? And it's a sight to see. I mean, it really, really is amazing to see so many people coming out there. And once again, I take pride in knowing that really they're coming out here to support us. But it's cool. So really, like the families come out, and you could tell the college kids that are home from the weekend because they're a little bit slower than they probably would have been that Thursday morning, right? So that's a really fun event. Community wise, we have something going on at Myers Mini Golf over in Upper Township, that we're going to do just like a golf outing one day. Just bring the friends out and your family, and they're going to give us a percentage of what they make from the event that day. And then this weekend,
They're always fun.
other than the block parties coming up October 11th, and then we are over at Stephen Cookie's for their annual dog show for the Margate Fun Fest as well. So this is like busy time. We had a golf tournament. We just had our Playland event on this past Saturday. Packed with people. Once again, just amazing to see it. And that's what I said. Our board president was out there with us, helping us with the event. And that's what I said to her. I said, look out here. And that's what an amazing thing. You should be so proud that all these people are here to support the organization. And they got a really good deal
That's
on tickets that day.
that's good stuff and some fun stuff. But also, if anyone is out there that is not an event type of person, not a runner, whatever the case may be, and wants to support the Humane
Sure.
Society, if you go to your website, um, there's ways to donate, and I'm sure that's always needed and
Actually,
appreciated.
Drew, yeah, you could go right on our website. There's many different ways that people, and it's all spelled out. The cool thing about the website, it's going to kind of give you what your money goes to, like on a monthly basis. If you're a monthly donor, it's going to tell you that we spend this much on litter, or this much on medications for these animals, or this much on food. It's going to give you the opportunity to kind of pick what would fit your need, your means to give. um, and then a lot of other times somebody could get, and we're proud of that too, is in front of our building. We have our memorial garden with a lot of memorial bricks. If a lot of times somebody does that in honor of somebody, where they'll buy a brick that goes in there, and really impactful to see like some of the families coming here every year when it's the anniversary of their dog or their human, to sit there, and you could see them out there just I think what's cool about it is it kind of makes them feel like they're a part of us by having that. And then we have also like the bigger things. We have kennel sponsorships available. If somebody wanted to do that, that goes on right on outside the animal's kennel, and that stays there for a couple years. So yeah, all kinds of different ways. Yeah, fundraising's great, and we try not to really. We call it being like Sarah McLachlan. We try not to make it real sad when we're asking people for money. But yeah, you're right, Drew. That's the bottom line. Is it is. I mean, it's how we do survive. We don't sell something, right? We have every person that comes in to our shelter, hopefully, is either going to adopt a dog or cat, or hopefully make a donation so we can continue to what we do to adopt dogs and cats here at the shelter. Like I said, the clinic is
So,
great because it kind of addresses the issues of why somebody would surrender an animal. Um, I'm a certified dog trainer. Bill's a certified dog trainer. We have one of our kennel attendant is a certified dog trainer either, and we have resources to work with people. A lot of times when somebody gets a dog, it's just something. It's a modification or a training issue that needs to be done. It's just working with the animal. A lot of the times, and any trainer will tell you, it's about consistency, right? The more you work with the animal, the more you do that, act with them, the more they're going to like to do it. So, and then on the other hand, once again, clinic, spay and neuter clinic is open to the public. We do that pretty much every week, always packed, always has a big turnout, because that's one of the reasons. Overpopulation. People get there's really no reason
Yeah.
not to get your dog or cat fixed, right? There really is no reason to do that. And then we have two amazing veterinarians. In fact, Dr. Moberg is up for the best of the press, uh, best veterinarian, and they provide a 10% discount. So that's impactful. That helps people because it takes some of the
Yeah, for
burden off.
sure.
It can be really expensive, um, or you get hit with a major an ACL tear, or a diagnosis where it's something more serious. So you try to make it as available as possible for people to get the care. You never want somebody to not be able to have their animal anymore because of something that maybe could have been helped.
sure.
Definitely agreed. Well, Phil, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for all the information about,
Oh,
the shelter and everything. You can really see why, you mentioned a lot throughout the conversation about being a part of the community and being, active in the community, and thanking your volunteers. And just from talking to you and listening to you, you can really see the love that you have, not just for the animals, but for the community and everybody that walks through your doors. So, thank you for
thank you.
what you do. If you're out and about for the Halloween parade, love that play on words. Very, very good. Get your dog up there. Drew, I know that Lulu loves her costumes every year.
Loves her
So you'll have to get
costumes.
her up on the boardwalk. And then don't forget to come out for the turkey trot. And if you're looking just to give back, check out the website. Phil, what is that web address for people real quick?
It is www.hsocnj.org is our website. We have Bella who does our Facebook, social media marketing. We try to keep that fun. It's still be informative. So anybody, a lot of times our most up-to-date information is on our social media sites. And then
Cool.
anybody is welcome to stop in here. We are open every day from 11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Anytime anybody wants to come by, they can drop donations off. They can come visit the animals. They could sign up to volunteer if they want. We have all that formed right in here, and they could be part of the organization with us. Always accepting volunteers. Thank you guys, and thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks,
I think
Bill.
one
Appreciate
thing,
you.
probably the only thing we didn't cover is where is actually the Humane Society. So it's back off of Shelter Road. So if you make a right on Tennessee Avenue, you're going to make a left, then right by the complexes and head all the way to the back. And as Phil mentioned, you'll see the only barn in Ocean City. It's back there. It's big. It's red.
Yeah, it's funny thing
Behind
too.
the golf course.
And
It's funny that the amount of people that have been visiting Ocean City for 10, 15, 20 years, and we meet them at an event or something, and they say they have no idea. Although this is the funny thing, GPS, if you're going to the golf course for some reason, takes you over here. So I try to stop them. I really, really do. But you'd be amazed at the amount of people that get their bags out and bring them up to the door and then realize this isn't the golf course. So and I do try to stop
we got a
them.
dog
Like
for
I said,
you,
I wouldn't
or a cat.
I wouldn't have them check all that stuff out for nothing. So, but yes, we are the only barn on the bay. And once again, yeah, absolutely. Anybody wants to come down, spend a little time visiting the dogs and cats, we encourage it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again
Sounds
so
good.
much.
All right.
And
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Bill.
keep doing what you're doing. For everyone,
Thank you. Appreciate
thanks
it.
everyone
You
for
guys too.
tuning in.
Thank you so much. Thanks for supporting us.
Oh, our pleasure. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. Peace out, everybody.